What is up, degenerates? Happy Wednesday, hump day for us normal peasant workers. We got a lot to talk about today. Number one, first, Microsoft Excel has now updated all of the funds that we cover. Remember, I had to type these all in manually, NVII. It now pulls the price and the percent change, and it does it for all the Yieldmax. It did it for most of Yieldmax before, but the newer ones it didn't, like Circo, Robley, Ready, Salty. It does now, so I am stoked on that. But first, let's talk about ULTI from Rec Shares declared today. That's their only declaration today, and it was up 2.20%. 22.24 is the share price. First, on their website, it declared zero. So I'm flipping out. Well, I don't own any, so I didn't flip out. But I'm thinking, I've seen posts that ULTI is the ULTI killer. And, a 0 cent declaration, it's not going to kill ULTI. But they did revise that. I got the email. They declared 35 cents. That is an 81% yield. It certainly is going to compete with ULTI because that's ULTI territory. So I wanted to just update you on that. Yieldmax had Group 2 declarations. Let's get to the top and just go through them very quickly. I know you guys are degenerates. I'm going the wrong way. Okay. As far as the market, it was red and green. I mean, some good, some bad. AMD was up 9%. AMD was up 6.32, so they captured a good amount of that. Circle was down 12.21%. Circo was down only 10%, so they did better. In fact, let's see, why is that? Circle, if I can type, yeah, down. They have earnings. They beat earnings, both earnings and revenue. What's the news say? New York Stock Exchange called them a big loser, basically. Why did it fall? It's Barron's. I'm not going to go through that all with you, but there's an article on Barron's about why it fell today. So yeah, is what it is. So let's go to the declarations, how it affects our yield. I look at the last 3 distributions to get a yield based on the current price, which was the closing price today, Wednesday, November 12th. And because any one payment is going to be screwy. Before I do that, I want to show you this. This was the email from Yieldmax this morning with the declarations. And I want to show you a little trend I noticed. Looking at 100% yielders, we've got Circo on Circle, 100.81% yield. Now their yield is just based on one price, this distribution. Crash, inverse fund on Tesla, 100% yield. Fiat, inverse fund on Coin, 125% yield. I own Fiat. You guys know that. HIYY was 108%. Maro was 105%. That's always been solid. SimC 100%. Winter 125%. Inverse fund on MicroStrategy. So you're getting what I'm getting at here. Inverse funds. I only own Fiat as far as the inverse funds, but something to think about because markets, we're still in a bull market. The last few weeks don't seem like it, but it is. And not financial advice, of course. You can call it a bear market if you want. But this is the total return of MicroStrategy income-based ETFs from September to November 7th. Winter wins 17.4%. Second is Misty, down 24%. MSTR, the actual underlying, down 26%. So Misty is not doing as bad as the underlying. And for you Misty haters, Misty's doing what it's supposed to. It's mimicking the underlying, and they're making income on the covered calls. But the underlying has dropped so much that they're synthetic. They buy a call, they sell a put that mimics the underlying, as opposed to buying the shares. And the underlying is dying. MSTW down 31%. MTYY MIDI down 32%. So, and that's a post from Yieldmax on X. So take it with a grain of salt. Double check the numbers yourself. But it's the underlying. It's all about the underlying. Misty doesn't suck. Misty's doing what it's supposed to do. But the underlying sucks. I think it will pump. My opinion, not financial advice. I'm not selling anything. So we'll see. Anyway, I wanted to just point that out. And let's get to the distros. We're at Abney was first. They went from 5 cents to 9 cents. They're now at 46% yield. AIYY, 3 cents to 2 cents, 76% yield. That's a $2 fund. AMD went from 12 cents to 14 cents. That's good, 94% yield. AMZ, 29 cents to 10 cents. Yeah, that dropped. But they paid massive. They went from 20 cents, 29 cents, down to 10 cents. So they're all over the place. But that is a 70% yield based on the last three. Apple went from 11 cents down to 6 cents, 38% yield. Babo, I love Babo. I will help you, Babo. 15 cents to 13 cents, 63%. I do own that. Berk C went from 14 cents to 40 cents. Brought them up to 26% yield. Still the lose, and I hate to use the word loser because it's a 26% yield, but it's Berkshire, so but it is the lowest yield of all the Yieldmax funds. Coney, 8 cents to 8 cents, 72% yield. Circo, 81 to 64, but it's still 131% yield based on the last three payments, and that is the winner of the Yieldmax funds, 131%. Crash, inverse fund on Tesla, 3 cents, 5 cents, 79% yield. Again, $2 fund, almost $3 fund, less than 3. Carvani, 38 cents to 43 cents. That's good. 79% yield. Dips, inverse NVIDIA. And I'm thinking about doing an experiment. Let me know what you think in the comments. Of buying one of these funds, say $100 worth, buying the inverse at the same time, $100 worth, and kind of chart them as they progress. Because if you're worried about NAV erosion, if you want to call it that, the inverse will counteract that, and you're getting paid distributions on both sides. So I'm thinking about doing that. I do own Coney, and I own Fiat, which is the inverse of Coney, and I love them both. I didn't buy them at the same time. I have different amounts in both of them, so it's not, you can't really compare. But I'm thinking of doing a 1-to-1 comparison on these inverse funds. So it'd have to be like NVIDIA and their inverse, because I don't own NVIDIA. I think I own all the others. But let me know what you think. So Carvani, went up to 8 cents. That's 79% yield. Dips, the NVIDIA inverse, 4 cents, 8 cents. That's 58% yield. Disso on Disney, 7 cents, 6 cents, 31% yield. Dre on DraftKings, and again, I love that Microsoft Excel has updated all of these prices in here. I don't have to type in the price anymore or the change. I still put the IVs in for my predictions, but 50% better for me as far as time. So where are we at? DraftKings, 36 to 45, 63% yield. Phoebe, 13 cents is the average, 50% yield. Fiat, I own, 4 cents, 6 cents was today's declaration. 95% yield. It's a $2.58 fund. People hate these cheap funds. I don't. It's about the yield. It's about the income. GDXY averages 14 cents now. They're 43% yield. Gamey on GameStop, 49 cents to 51 cents. That's 62% yield. GUI, 28 cents to 9 cents. That's not good. But they had a big payment. They went from 13 cents to 28 cents, then back to 9. So averaging 17 cents. That's 60%. HIYY, 59 cents up to 67 cents. That's 107% yield. Hui, everyone loves Hui. $1.25 to 92 cents. That is a 99% yield based on the last three. JPMO, 15 cents to 10 cents, 40% yield. Maro, that's a big one, 29 cents to 26 cents, still 117% yield. Murney, again, cheap fund, $1.60 a share. I own it for the income. They went from 2 cents to 2 cents, and before that was 3 cents. But it's 85% yield. I drip all these. I just keep collecting shares. I don't add new money to any of these. Just I do drip them, although. MSFO, 9 cents to 10 cents, 32% yield. Misty, everyone hates Misty. I don't. Went from 16 cents to 16 cents. 97% yield on Misty. And as I showed you, it's outperforming all of the other Mr. funds, with the exception of Winter, the inverse. So again, pair them up. Collect both sides. Keep your NAV a little more stable between the two. Something to think about. Nestle, 12 cents to 8 cents, 38% yield. That's really dropped. NVIDIA is 31 cents to 14 cents. That's not good. 71% yield. But I was thinking like NVIDIA and dips, pair those up. OARC, 7 cents to 8 cents, 62% yield. Plady, $1.21 to 83 cents. That is a 93% yield. Still love Plady. Big total return for me. Pi on PayPal, 11 cents to 9 cents. That's a 60% yield. Robley on Roblox, 46 cents to 41 cents, 61% yield. Ready or whatever, it's on Reddit, 59 cents to 62 cents, 97% yield. That's big. Simpsy, own it, 33 cents to 21 cents, 124% yield. It's only an $11 fund. It's super microcomputer. They've been hammered, and we own these. We do the covered call strategy on them, and we just collect the money. And we don't, as long as they don't go to zero, I don't care. Snowflake, 25 cents to 15 cents, 80% yield. Tesla, one of my best performers, 14 cents to 9 cents, 75% yield. I'd like to see more, but that's all right. TSMY, 17 cents to 14 cents, 50% yield. Winter, here we go. 73 cents to 81 cents, 110% yield on an inverse fund. It's, and it's trading at 33, is that right? 33 bucks? 33 bucks. I mean, Misty's dropped, Winter's gone up. So, take it as you will. Zomo on Exxon, 5 cents to 7 cents, and that's a 31% yield. XYZY used to be Squee, remember that? Where were we at? 8 cents to 10 cents, 79% yield. YBit went from 7 cents to 7 cents, 55% yield. YQs went from 4 cents to 10 cents. That is a 28% yield. Again, that's a short NASDAQ 100 fund. So overall, they average 70%. If you own all the Yieldmax funds, in equal amounts, then you're making 70% yield. And they beat their underlyings. The underlyings were down 0.64 today. Yieldmax was down 0.37. So, you want to say red day, but could have been worse. So I like that. So let's talk. I'm going to go real quick on Defiance because they only have one declaration tomorrow, and that's QLDY, the NASDAQ Lightning Spread. They pay twice a week. They declare Tuesday and Thursday, which is tomorrow. Ex-date is Wednesday and Friday. Payday is Thursday and Monday, if you can keep up with that. So let's go to what have they paid. They're solid. 19 cents, 19 cents, 19 cents. I am giving them 20 cents, I believe. Let's uncover. Yep, 20 cents, 40% yield. I did add SMCC from Defiance. It's paying 181% yield. So why not? Yieldboost. Everyone wants to talk about Yieldboost. Again, thank you, Microsoft, for updating all of these so I don't have to. And let's pick the distros for the declarations for tomorrow. Again, they pay today. They normally pay Tuesday, but because of the holiday, those are all going to hit my account tonight. I have Robinhood, so it pays usually around 9 o'clock. I will drip all of those. I will buy more shares of each of these. I own a few, and I will buy more tomorrow. So, COYY averages 38 cents over the last three. We're going to put them at 32 cents because they're paying way more than the IV. The IV is on CO and L, which is a double leverage Coinbase. These are all on double leverage funds. So the IVs are higher, but they're way overpaying the IV. So I dropped them down. Don't kill the messenger. HOYY averages 58 cents. I'm giving them 55 cents. Still 137% yield. TSYY, now my second largest holding. My first is now ICOI. You guys know I love ICOI. I talk about ICOI. It's monthly, which turns a lot of people off, but I have been adding to that. So TSYY, averaging 20 cents a share. It's a $7 fund, paying 152%. We're giving them 17 cents, 126% yield. But I've been predicting lower payments, and they keep paying 20 cents. So, don't listen to me. Not financial advice. SMYY is averaging 61 cents, 156% yield. I'm giving them 56 cents, 143% yield. Because they're all, the only, AMYY, which is next, has been paying at the IV. The IV for the double leverage AMD fund is 104%. They've been paying 104%. 48 cents is the average. So what do we give them? 49 cents, 104%, still 104% yield. XBTY, which is a Bitcoin fund, averages 30 cents. I'm giving them 27 cents, 97% yield. Because the IV's low, 84%. So I kind of put it in the middle there. NVYY, I do own, I do love. Averages 44 cents, 103%. I'm giving them 42 cents, 99%. We'll round that up, 100%. PLYY is averaging 45 cents, 100% yield. We're getting 45 cents, 101% yield. Based on, just rounding. BBYY, new fund. On Babo, double leverage, Alibaba, not Babo. I still love Babo, but Alibaba fund, double leverage. I think BobX is the underlying. So they're at, they paid 3 now. Averages 45 cents. I give them 42, 98% yield. MIDI, MTYY, again, another strategy fund. It's been a train wreck, but these guys are paying 32 cents average, 125% yield. I'm giving them 33 cents, 124% yield. Little boost. TQQY on the Qs. Averages 21 cents, which is 62%. But again, it's an index. So you're going to get lower IVs. I'm giving them 21 cents, 61%. Didn't change a thing. Few more here. YSPY, on the SPY, of course. S&P. Averages 18 cents, 50% yield. I'm giving them 17 cents, 47% yield. And again, I take the payments, the price, the IV of the underlying, and kind of do my guess based on those. AZYY averages 22 cents, 47% yield. That is the worst yielder of Yieldboost, but 47%, it's not bad. So that's AZYY on Amazon. So they're averaging 22 cents. We're going to give them 25 cents, 52% yield. Give them a raise. Phoebe, or not, you can't say Phoebe. Yieldmax is Phoebe. This is FBYY. Same underlying. Well, this is a double average on Facebook, Meta. Averages 23 cents, 55%. We're going to give them 26 cents, 60%. Maze, for you grown-ups fans, Maze. Averages they've paid once, 67 cents. That's a 163% yield, massive. I'm giving them 56 cents, 133% yield. IOYY, which is on IonQ, paid once, 70 cents, 147% yield based on the current price. And the IV is, look at IonQ, the IV is 176%. The double leverage, IonQ, 176. So they paid 70 cents. I got to bring them up because 77, 161%. Massive. So Yieldboost is averaging 112%. On average, I brought them down to 105. Still massive yields from Yieldboost. Love Yieldboost. Let's go to Income Blast from Tuttle Capital. Yes, Microsoft did update those as well. I do own BitK. Thinking about starting a position on MSTK, which is on strategy. BitK's on iBit. Let's see how they did today. They were down. BitK was down 1.94. worse than IBIT. They were down 1.3, and Strategy was down 2.91. MSTK was down 3.19. So they did capture more of the loss. But I love what they're doing. It's 0 DTE, so you're not as capped on the upside. It's still synthetics and covered calls, but with some of the other companies, you're giving them a week or two to an underlying to run up and blow through your covered calls, so you're capped. These are 0 DTE. They do flex options. We can't do 0 DTE unless it's the one day. They can do it every day with the flex options. So anyway, BITK is averaging 17 cents per share distribution. That's a 44% yield. MSTK, they've paid twice, 50 cents, 50 cents, 131% yield. So that's solid. What are we going to give them? BITK, like I said, averages 17 now. They had a massive first payment, which caught my eye. And now I think it's kind of stabilized now. 15 cents, 18 cents, 18 cents. Yeah, so averages 17. I'm giving them 17, 44% yield. MSTK averages 50 cents. The IV is 70%. They're paying 131, so I think they're going to drop it. 38 cents. 101% yield. Can't complain. And then Roundhill only has one declaration tomorrow. That's Maggie. How'd they do today? They were down 0.25. They do options on Mags. That's their Mag 7. And they beat it. Mags was down 1.13. Maggie was only down 0.25. So that's good. They average 37 cents per share. 34%. So what are we giving them? I think I kept them right at 37. Yep, 37. 34%. So that's the predictions for tomorrow's declarations. I think we talked about everything I wanted to talk about. We talked about the inverses doing big stuff. We talked about the strategy funds. Again, Yieldmax kind of wins as far as total return. I mean, the jury's out, and that's from September to November. If you look further back, Misty total return is huge. If you drip, it's even bigger. But that's all I want to talk about today. You guys have a great evening. Let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know about the doing that experiment with the inverse funds. Buying, $100 worth of Nvidia and $100 worth of dips. I think dips is the inverse for that. I know we got Tesla and Crash. We got Misty. We got Coney and Fiat. Yeah, dips is Nvidia. Tesla is Crash. Misty is Winter. And again, Misty's gone down the most. Winter's been up the most as far as the inverse funds. So let me know what you think about that. Anyway, have a great night. I'm going to get this posted immediately, and we'll do a premiere, and we'll talk about it. Let me know. Have a great day.